All right, hello. This is Through a Therapist's Eyes. If you happen to find us on this platform for the first time, we fire up usually about 6:15 on Thursdays to give you a chance from behind the scenes before we turn the mics on. And we got a special guest today, so you are internationally live on YouTube with Zay Grastley, man. Say hello.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor. We got a chance to meet last night, so he's a recording artist. We're going to be talking about overcoming and triumphing over stress and resiliency. We're going to weave it all into like everything you've been through, and
we're going to do it different since we got a special guest with us tonight.
We still got the rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
Too, so
I'll make it short so we can talk with him a little while.
Indeed. So you'll hear the live mics come on when we do the show. This is kind of before the show, so we're just hanging out now, ready for you, Neil, when you're ready to fire. I am good. Hello, this is Through a Therapist's Eyes. What is the date today, Mr. Cloninger? 20-something.
29th.
29th.
Yep.
We are so close to September and done with this heat, although you're not quite done with the heat today, are you?
No, I'm not. My power's out in our neighborhood, so yes, it's getting hot in my neighborhood.
It's hot in this office because they did a roving blackout for letting us cool, so we're going to cool down here in a minute. But, guys, listen, we got a special guest today, Mr. Zay Grastley. Sorry, I butchered that, didn't I? Grastley.
Hey, it works. I'm used to it. It always gets butchered.
You've been called worse, right?
Yes.
You can't do worse than Gazdick, I tell you. Pizza.
I actually had somebody call me Gatsby. And, like, in my mind, I thought of the Great Gatsby. Like, I wanted to make a joke out of it so bad. I was like, nope, can't.
Oh, you should have, man.
You should have said, yeah, that's my uncle.
That's my uncle.
Yep.
Nice. So this is Through a Therapist's Eyes, where you usually get insights from a panel of therapists in your home or your car, but not the delivery of therapy services in any way. We're going to actually weave in the topic of resiliency, really, talk about Zay's experiences on the road and music and in life, and kind of talk about how we develop resiliency. We've talked about it on the show before, but questions I got for you this week to ponder as we talk is how did something in your life hold you down? Okay, and then what did you do to overcome the distress that was there? So be thinking about that, and then how have you experienced resiliency with something that was hard for you? Because we're going to answer some of that and how you get resiliency, build it, and play with it. And you've lived it, I think, right?
Definitely.
All right. John's not here with us, Zay, but they he gets pissed off if anybody gives us less than 5 stars on these shows.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets upset. So we need 5 stars.
Definitely get 5
Contact
stars.
it through atherapisteyes.com. Hit the subscribe button. Your job is to help us out, bring your friends and everybody.
Mash that subscribe button.
Mash it.
Mash it.
I'm not from these parts, man. I can't say that right.
Mash it.
Smash it.
We press stuff. We don't mash it, mush it. I don't know. This is the human emotional experience which we endeavor to figure out together. Actually, I'm going to give Reed Ferguson the shout-out. I haven't done that every time, but he's another artist. You ever hear of Reed Ferguson?
I haven't.
You have?
I haven't.
Oh, you have not? He's pretty beast.
I'll check him out.
He's pretty beast. Yeah, you really should. He did our intro.
Okay.
Music. You didn't get to hear the intro here. We play it on the show.
I did, but I didn't know who it was.
Oh, there you go. It's
did.
Reed Ferguson. He'd love to come play for you. Find him on Instagram. He spells his name stuff weird, though. ReidTFerguson.com. We're appreciative of Reed for hooking us up with the intro music. So, how did something in life hold you down? What do you do daily to overcome distress? And have you experienced resiliency with something that was hard for you? Because I guarantee you, listening, you will come across things that are as harder than anything I've dealt with or Zay's dealt with, or pretty easy. But resiliency is always difficult to get. So let me see how I could do this, Zay. ZayGrastleyMusic.com. ZayGrastley. Music.com. Pretty cool site.
Yep.
How long's that been up?
Almost a year now.
Okay.
Almost a year.
How long you really been pushing in the music industry here to really get going?
Probably about 4 years.
About 4 years in?
Yeah.
I like that.
2020, I released like my first song out.
Pandemic? How'd that work out, man? That's probably good timing, actually.
I had a lot of time to sit and write.
Yeah.
A lot of time to sit and write.
We all had a lot of time to sit and write.
Yes.
So he is a music artist with Gypsy Outlaw Music. He was born in Washington, D.C. I didn't know that. I had to look that up. How you start out in Washington D.C.? That's
I don't remember.
unique.
I was born there.
He was a little young.
We left. I was probably like 4 or 5 years old.
Gotcha.
And the crazy thing, we left there. We went to Knoxville, Tennessee, and then we came to Gastonia.
Oh, I thought there was a few stops.
It was.
Okay.
Knoxville was just like one of the longest ones.
That's like me. We say we're from Gastonia, but really it's from the Charlotte area, so we just say
Couch
Charlotte.
couple weeks here, couch couple weeks there, you know.
Gotcha. Born in D.C., but moved around a lot with a single mom. It landed in our little old hometown here called, what is it?
Gastonia.
The Gastonia.
The gas house.
I was going to pull Adam in and see if you remember where we live.
Yeah, I remember.
You're actually from here.
I am.
And you're from here then, too, do you say? Or do you say you're from where?
No, I'm from here.
Okay.
Gastonia.
Oh,
yeah.
how you claiming Gastonia over D.C. and
I don't remember it. I don't know it. Like when I left DC, I was 3-4 years old until like I went to school. All of my school and everything has been in North Carolina.
Okay.
So high school.
So this really was your growing up
so
area.
When we came to North Carolina, I was in 3rd grade.
Okay.
So 3rd grade through, you know what I mean? So most of my years, like actually growing up, was here.
So I came to North Carolina after grad school.
Oh, you missed out on some good country times.
I don't know, man. You might like West Virginia. I think that's why I think I like
don't.
you. Huh?
I don't.
Oh, I was just saying I like you, man. Now we have a problem.
I enlightened you on that last night. So one thing is I stay
did
away
what?
from courthouses
Yep.
in any state that I've been incarcerated in.
Oh.
that is like a thing of mine.
All right, man. I got to give you
West
that
Virginia's
one.
off limits
Yep,
for
I
him.
do not go to West Virginia. It's just like a bad.
I am
There's
gonna
nothing
give that-
wrong with literally West Virginia. It's just like nope.
I'm gonna give that
Bad
to you,
memories.
man.
Yep.
Maybe we'll have a healing trip and we can go to West Virginia and
I'll go on
zip
the
line
outskirts. We can sit right on the state line.
You ain't gonna cross. You
Nope.
ain't going through the tunnel.
Nope.
There's a tunnel that goes from Virginia to West Virginia, and when you're in the tunnel on the south side, it's Virginia, and then you cross over and you're in West Virginia.
I promise there's a way around. It has to be.
There is.
Oh,
It's a little bit longer.
it's the easy way though. So, I could just see you in the tunnel, like, come on, man, it's okay, you can cross. All right, let me see. What else do I want to introduce? So, you had a birthday on August the 9th. Happy belated birthday. Went to Hunter Huss High School, and so we want you to come. Oh, also, a D1 athlete. Was that mostly basketball?
Basketball.
You were playing football?
I played football also.
Yeah.
With basketball.
Who did you
was
play
mine.
for?
I played at Hunter Huss.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
High
D1,
school.
D1 high school ball in North
I had
Carolina.
offers when I took my vacation.
What'd you do? Decline them?
Yeah,
You had to decline them.
involuntarily.
Yeah, 14 years.
I was like,
All right, come
is that an
celebrate his
option?
birthday with him. He's going to be playing in Gastonia, his hometown, Saturday, August the 31st.
Yes.
Beast of a place, beast of a town. It's going to be a fun show. I really want you guys to come out, check him out. He's got some awesome music. We're going to play a piece here in a little bit from his storage of music.
He's gonna beat the Rooster.
That the Rooster.
I don't think you said that. So.
I didn't yet. So he
Okay.
he has
Sorry.
played in Asheville, Lewisburg, Ocean Isle, Franklin, Portsmouth, Ohio. I love Charleston. You've been played in Charleston.
Yeah, I played in Charleston twice. I like Charleston.
Yeah, that's a great little town.
Yeah.
So he is, Adam, going to be at the Rooster on August the 31st. Now, where is the Rooster? I don't know the Rooster, to be honest with you.
It's
What is
across
this?
the street from the post office.
Right over there in downtown Gastonia at the
Yep.
post office.
Yeah,
Okay.
right across the street from the post office.
All right. You guys got to check him out Saturday. He comes on the show about 8, but I guess doors open up about 7, 8 o'clock. You go on at 10.
Yep.
I know, because I'm
Well,
going
I
to
think you said the show starts at 6, right?
The doors open at 6.
Doors open at 6.
Doors at 6.
There's a couple other
Something like
people
that.
before him. But,
Show at 7. They don't matter, though.
okay, yeah.
I'm honestly excited to see the comedian.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, there's
Yeah,
a comedian
it's
gonna be there too.
coming. Yeah. I follow him on Instagram, and he's hilarious.
Oh, I love live comedy
Yeah,
shows,
he
man.
is he's hilarious. I can't wait to. He's like out of the acts there. That's like who I want to see.
That's why you're going?
Yeah, I want to see the comedian.
Yeah, we got a comedy house down in Charlotte. I am way overdue to go there.
I love
so.
comedy, man.
So check it out, theroostergastonia.com. You can check out what they've got going on, where they're at, get the address, get ready to go. The Rooster, as it sounds, Gastonia. Theroostergastonia.com. Check them out, and let's play. We're not gonna play that though. We're gonna play a different game.
We'll play rabbit hole.
We're gonna play rabbit hole.
Right.
Now I got to tell you, man, I got a rabbit's nest in my yard right next to my driveway where my lawnmower rolled over it. Did you know that rabbits are like in a little shallow hole in yards?
Oh yes, I've had a couple of them.
Have you?
Yeah, I never run over one though.
I didn't know that.
Did you run over
Oh
one?
my God! It was like these little, no bigger than my fingers, man. I had to because it was like a couple
That's
days
crazy.
before we found his nest or whatever.
Are you okay, Chris?
I'm a little disturbed about that, man.
I figured you were.
I don't want to chew up no rabbit, no baby rabbit with my
Yeah.
mower. All right, we're going to be real quick with this. Normally, we do a down the rabbit hole with Adam.
Just
what we're
saying, you're
doing.
from West Virginia. Rabbit stew is okay. Just saying.
I mean, I'm down with the little rabbit stew.
Just saying.
Black bear as well. I mean, you want to go crazy? We're not going roadkill though, man.
Just saying.
Rabbit stew. Adam, normally we do on the month in review, which we're not going to do this way, which we have like 4 or 5 shows to review. We'll have
Right.
to pick that up. So where are we going with the rabbit hole, man?
Just a little quick story about, and actually it ties in very well with your topics you have that you want people to think about this week or over the next month or so. This just happened a couple of days ago, August the 26th, 2024, in New York. We had a family of 5. They met at noon at one of the family members' house. It was to discuss the sale of the house. The house used to belong to the person who lives there, currently living there, a 59-year-old man, but his mom lived in the house, and she was deceased, and it's her house. The meeting was to discuss selling the house, but it didn't go that way. He shot and killed 4 family members, ranging from 30 to 69,
I was afraid we were going that direction,
and then
man.
walked out into this cul-de-sac, yelled at all the neighbors, proclaiming what he had done, and he shot himself. So, as I've done before, that's all you really know about it. You don't know any more details. I don't really know if the other family members were siblings or cousins or what, but, I'm assuming they were all brothers and sisters, I'm guessing. So, what do you think? What kind of stress was he going through? What was he thinking about? What kind of condition he might have had, or anything else you might want to think about it?
Sorry, Zay. Usually he has some weird, obscure things like the night fighting I was telling you about. We're starting
Or
off
rage rooms.
with a little depression today.
Or rage rooms. Rage rooms are awesome.
Zay, I don't know. I'm curious what you think about a story like that. What it does in my mind is people really are struggling. I mean, you hear stories and things like that, and unfortunately, it happen like way too commonly than you would think. But
It does.
it really does, doesn't it?
I think my brain goes to a different place. And it's not like to be funny, but I wonder like, what were the other family members doing when he was shooting the other? Like,
Right.
did you wait in line, or like,
Right.
how did you not get to him? Like, that's the thing
Yeah.
that goes through my mind. Like, I know it's traumatizing, but it's like,
Right.
do you really just sit there and let him go through the whole room?
It's
you
a
know-
really interesting point, and honestly, in psychology world, we have trauma reactions: fight, or freeze.
Yeah.
So if you're freezing, that's all you're going to do. If you're going to flight, well, that's not going to help.
I'm
But
sure
there are
there-
some fight responses.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of shock there too, and they probably were actually first one that got shot. They probably another concern they had was try to take care of the person that got shot. Of course, I don't
Yeah.
know where they shot him or whatever, but they might have been like, "Oh my God, John!" or
It's
whatever.
a
I just
bang
think like
reaction.
the last person besides him, like what were they doing?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
How
did,
the
did
scene
they
played
wait?
out.
he got 3 other people before you. Like, what was your? Yeah, like what were you doing? Like,
Yeah.
it is not. I don't know. It's just.
It is an interesting question. That is interesting that your brain goes there. I think I just sort of think, Adam, like, what stress could be anything. I mean, the thing really you need to realize, somebody said to me early in my career at one point, and it's really stuck with me. I think it's totally true. He said, and now mind you, I was working in a mental health center where it's pretty unhealthy people, pretty sick folks. I mean, they got schizophrenia and bad bipolar. I mean, they were used to be in insane asylums, and we brought them back. So he looked at me. He's like, "Man, Chris, you need to realize the difference between the people we serve and ourselves is no thicker than a piece of dental floss." I was like, thought he's crazy because I was a young 24-year-old whippersnapper, But, I mean, that has stayed with me. And so, Adam, I mean, it could literally be anything that happens, because if you think
Right.
you're not capable of that, human beings do it, and you are most certainly capable about that given the right circumstances. and
Anybody
whatever
can snap.
that is for
Definitely,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. In a bad way.
Yep.
So, yeah, we can go further with that, but I want to get to some stuff. So let's get rolling. We love definitions on this show, Zay. It seems like we always have a definition. Resiliency. So the capacity to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. And I like this one better. The ability to successfully adapt to stressors, maintaining psychological well-being in the face of adversity. That, to me, says a whole lot more. Let me say that again. The ability to successfully adapt to stressors, maintaining psychological well-being in the face of somebody or something giving you adversity. And I think that's a hell of a thing. So let's get right to it. Part of your story is a 14-year vacation, as you called it. Part of that was in my home state of West Virginia.
Got to travel to a lot of different states.
Sorry about that, sir.
Yeah, no West Virginia.
So that was a prison experience followed by a determination to live out a dream, and that you're currently blazing through since 2020. I wonder what goes through your mind when you think of resiliency and adversity. I mean, that is some serious, steep adversity to overcome. So what's that do in your brain?
It's kind of like fuel for me. Just because coming home and going back to Gastonia and seeing friends that were still there, and places I used to go to see people still literally doing the exact same thing. Like nothing. Like Gastonia looked different, but the people were still the same in the same areas, and it was just like, yeah, this isn't. I mean, I love my town. That's where I grew up, but I felt like I could do better if I was to get away from it and come back with something different to offer to the town than just sitting there in like a melting pot,
Yeah. When did you come back? I mean, how much time have you done in? God, that's a weird way to say that. Pun, if that's a pun, does that count as a pun? How much time have you spent in Gastonia really since as an adult, I should say?
Couple months.
Yeah, okay.
As an adult, couple months, yeah.
So this is kind of a big trip for you this week, really, in a way.
Yeah, this is my first show that I've ever put on here, and
dang, no kidding.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And just think about all the extra people here now.
I know.
Can't go anywhere without a line or anything now. 14 years away.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's got to trip you out then. I mean, is that resiliency or is that something else? Like just arriving? Like how do you – that's a hell of a turnaround, like literally right now, today, and whatever, this week.
So it's like a drive to like not go back to those times and you just want to be successful?
Well, it's a drive to – because believe it or not, when it comes to sports, music, Gastonia has a lot of talent.
James Worthy.
Sleepy Floyd, Daryl Armstrong.
Right.
Like I can name Hassan Whitesides. We've had 5.
Oh, you'll appreciate this, man. I was actually playing softball with the highest all-time scorer for Belmont Abbey.
Nice.
Yeah. I forget his name, though.
It's
been many years.
Is it Robbie Waldrop?
No.
Okay.
Robbie Walters? No.
Waldrop.
No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe I got the stat wrong as well, but he was.
It was going so well until you forgot his name.
I know, right? Well, it's been. I mean, gosh, that was like seriously. It was 20 years ago at least. We were playing softball, so I don't know, but yeah, maybe that's a good place to kind of kick in. We wanted to play a little bit of one of your cool songs, Southern Charm.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about what this is, and Neil, we're gonna fire it off here when he tells us about what this thing is. Is this one of the bigger, newer hits? I guess that's it?
Southern Charm has been out almost a year, and it's actually the one. I'm not gonna say it went viral on TikTok. It went semi-viral.
How'd you write it?
But it's
Okay.
I write all my music.
Okay.
It's still, the numbers are still going up at it. Right now, it's like I think 172,000 views on YouTube.
Okay, beast.
But when I wrote Southern Charm,
Sure, after
it
this
was
show,
really,
man, we're gonna have like 250,000 views on.
We
that
hope
sucker.
so anyway.
I hope so. I hope so.
That would trip me out if that were the
I
case.
hope
I'm not
so.
promising that, brother.
I hope so. But no, I wrote Southern Charm really is like and believe it or not, when I went to my engineer and everything to put the song out, that was like my least favorite song.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that the way that works?
And that's the one that took off. But Southern Charm was more of a song just, I don't know, trying to explain me to people. You know, you get a little hood, a lot of country.
Okay.
Laid back. You know, it's just
A little bit of hood.
Yeah.
A lot of country.
A little hood, a lot of country.
And how does that play to you? That's what you are.
A little hippie, a little gypsy. You know, it goes back and forth.
A little hippie, a little gypsy. Yeah. I love that. That's a quote. Neil, what you got, man? Let's hear what this thing is. You ever get tired of hearing it?
No.
No.
I don't.
Awesome every time.
No, I laughed because I had a guy ask me one time at the beginning of the video, like some of my buddies down in South Carolina, they're just like throwing up pieces. He's like, "Are they throwing up gang signs?" And I'm like, "Dude, we're in Long, South Carolina on a farm." I was like, I'm very seriously now. I doubt they know any gang signs. I promise.
Wow. They're a little more involved.
Yeah, he was like, "You should take that first part out with him throwing the gang signs up in the truck." And I was like,
North Carolina to Arizona. I say my prayers and I love my mama. And now they singing, oh Lord, he's a country.
yeah.
I'm a country boy, I came up for some fighting. My grandpa taught me wrong from right, that's how I live my life. I'm a jack of all trades, but the master of none. I be up before the chickens, cock-a-doodle for the sun. This that Carolina country boy, I bet I get her done. When they said I
Rabbits
couldn't
instead of
make it,
chickens.
I
I
said,
might
hold up.
have lost my mind.
So what do rabbits sound like?
Not right though.
Do rabbits even make a noise?
I don't know of. Well, when Chris runs over them, yes.
I'm sure they will then.
Yeah, let's squeal a little bit. Oh, that makes my heart hurt.
Just think of that rabbit stew.
Do what? Oh, the
Think of that
rabbits.
rabbit stew.
Well, not after a lawnmower, man. Love that, man. That's an awesome tune.
That's good, man. That's
Really,
good.
I compliment. I didn't know much of your work, to be honest with you, and I was kind of checking it out and jamming with it last night as I was preparing. So
Nice.
I love it. You got a
I have
fan.
a
You
lot
got
of
a new
music out.
fan. What's that?
I said I have a lot of music out.
Do you? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pull some CDs and get
Well,
some
definitely,
music, and
thank you.
I invite you to do it with them because it is down home. Southern Charm is I mean, you might not have had it as your favorite song, but it's a good title. It fits. It is charmy down here in the South. So Gastonia's history. The question I have with Resiliency is how does culture or the things around you affect you in your life? Remember, like the questions. Have you ever experienced resiliency with something that was hard for you? And Gastonia has a tough history. And interestingly enough, I've been around this area for 20 years doing therapy, and it took me like a long, long time to figure out a interesting, unique component of like a subculture. And Adam, I'm curious if you ever heard of this because you grew up around here, and
The Klingons?
not the Klingon.
Okay.
That just threw me off. Now if you went on Star
Was that
Wars,
it?
we got Grogu.
That's the Vulcan. That's Vulcan.
That was the Vulcan. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be Vulcan crazy.
So really, what a couple of clients, there was something that was off, and I never really could figure out what was going on.
They're from Gastonia.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's in the water.
It does something to you. Yes, my kids are born and raised Gastonians. It's so sad to me, but it's okay. No, I love this area, but this area is very steeped on mill history. Lots of manufacturing. Firestone Mill made tires, and all of the I'm very familiar with all that from West Virginia with coal mining and plants, and a lot of blue collar, all of this.
A lot of textiles here.
Textiles, all
It
over the
used to be
place.
huge here.
So people that lived in these mill towns, though, little mill homes, white men specifically, really, really struggled in poverty. And for instance, there's an awesome book. I was going to mention it somewhere today. I will now. Jimmy Wayne. You ever come across that feller?
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, A Walk to Beautiful. You really, I think, would enjoy his book. because he grew up in the foster home system, and horrible neglect, horrible abuse, terrible trauma, like everything you can imagine. Someone being hacked up with a axe in the driver's seat when he was a kid in the back seat, kind of stuff. Anyway, he did a walk across the country, bringing awareness and support for foster kids. I was just enamored with his story, but it has a lot to do with this area. Like
Nice.
these particularly white men were struggling not with milk money being taken on the way to school, but it was every day watching your six. Every day could be a knife fight, or
Was it because they were like coming back from work or something, or what?
kids, man, drugs and the whole 9 yards, Vance Street, the whole mill area.
Yeah.
And so that's the culture that they grew up on, and I identified that now 3 or 4 times in therapy. And so, and because they never dealt with it, right? So my curiosity is, like, in your experience and all of that, what is that culture influence, for the good and for the bad? Like, how does that play into your music, your life, your view, your perspective, your life experience?
Well, being from Gastonia and then also growing up in prison, I would say Gastonia, between the two, more Gastonia.
Gastonia was better?
I mean, definitely, yeah, it was better.
Yeah.
But I would say Gastonia keeps me humble. Like, I have a lot of people say, oh, you don't really seem excited about things, or, stuff like that. And it's like, you don't, you hear a lot of things, but things never fall through. So it's like you just don't put your hopes on them. until it
Right.
actually
I know
happens.
exactly what he's talking about.
You know what I mean? And it's most people in Gastonia. Like, you could tell somebody in Gastonia, oh, the baseball stadium's coming. They're like, huh? Oh, well, it's going to be a million jobs. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
They don't, you know what I mean? But it's like,
It's like you're not expecting it until you actually happens. You're like, okay, I know they're talking about it, but okay, we'll see.
yep,
Is that what you mean?
yep.
Yeah, I can relate that totally.
I love that, and I can actually really bond with that, because where I'm from, Wheeling, West Virginia, is it's all the valleys. It's up by Pittsburgh, but there's like a cultural depressed, not wanting to get, like, ask any Steeler fan before the Steelers got good, right? Like, it was year
Are
after
they?
year after year after year of horror. I didn't hear you.
Are they?
Harlan, man. This guy's making me mad again. Neil, what are we doing here? Get this guy out of here. Yeah, you like him. Everybody likes him when he says stuff like that. No, but that cultural, is that part of overcoming? Like, how do you overcome that? Humility is good, but that can also hold us back from reaching out for what you're doing now.
Just knowing there's more out there. There's something better out there. And my thing is it's a lot of people in Gastonia with no hope. They just,
Right.
they're comfortable with that. I could go down a list of people
familiar.
that's never left out of Gaston County. And if they have, they went no further than Myrtle Beach. You know what I mean? Like, when people leave Gastonia, you're like, oh, we're going on vacation, it's Myrtle Beach.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally Myrtle Beach or Virginia
Which is
Beach.
3 hours away.
That's a
Yeah.
vacation. And it's like, dude, there's so much more in the world. There's so much more to see. There's so much more to do. There's so many more opportunities outside of Gastonia.
To his point, I'm 53, and it's been 4 years ago the first time I ever went to West Virginia.
For real?
Yeah, and I've always lived in Gastonia.
Okay.
And it's not that far.
Yeah.
No,
It's not far at all.
So there you go.
It is not that far.
In fact, that's the first time I even went to Virginia, and that's just passing through it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can vouch for that as well. I mean, I did work with kids in this area, and yeah, like, literally, they never, 15 years old, 17, whatever, but never left the city. Like, holy cow.
And if you're like me, you probably know a lot of people that are like, oh, man, I got to get out of there.
And they say it every day.
Yeah. And then some people, they do get out, that you don't come back.
Yep.
So family culture is another piece of family culture. It lives, in us. The family culture, the family experiences, primary life experiences with all of the growing up stuff and even as an adult. But, family culture lives in us until we're aware of it and make purposeful, conscious decisions to determine what it is that we want to be or how we want things to be in our life, and developing a certain amount of agency over what it is that you want to accomplish or do. Curious if you can think of like what created that agency over your life. What really helped you feel like you have control, that you took it, because it seems like you took it at some point.
Yeah.
And really are running with it, getting ready to get into a sprint, I have a feeling. So what created that agency? What created that empowerment to overcome feeling the culture around you?
And while you're answering that, let me ask you something else too. You can answer probably at the same time. So when did you decide this is going to be your path? So
So to answer yours first,
okay.
I wrote my first song when I was probably about 12, 13. And I used to always go to my sister and be like, hey, listen to it. And I used to be, it was terrible. Like, to think of it now, like, every word was literally a cuss word. But to me as a kid, it was like, okay, I'm writing music. But from
That's what
then,
you heard too.
yeah, and that's what I heard.
Pretty common,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I knew I wanted to do music. Like, I knew it was, and I'm not even going to say music. I call it art. It's all art. Music, painting, tattooing, and I do it all. I was a tattoo artist for years, and I still tattoo. I just focus more on music now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all an art. And so I knew young I wanted to do something with art. I'm not a mechanical person. I can put gas in the car, change a tire, but that's about it. I don't have that side of the country in me. I'm just, I can cook.
Come on, man. Country boys are supposed to fix stuff.
Hey,
right?
been cook. Been cook.
I can cook.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's art too.
I got buddies that can work on cars and motorcycles, and I cook. Call it whatever you want, but I
Feed them while they fix
I got you, yeah. But no, I think me coming out and going, I was in Gastonia for about a year once I got out of prison. And it was like a fight because I didn't want to get comfortable just tattooing in the tattoo shop, going home from work and doing nothing, getting drunk, getting up, going to work the next morning. I didn't want to become a stereotype.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because it's like most people come home from prison, they don't want to do anything. It's like they feel like the world owes them something, so they don't, they get lazy. And it's like, I never wanted anybody to look at me like that. I look at prison as a saving grace for me, and I don't look down on it because from where I was at, if I would have kept doing that, there's no way I would have been here today. I would have been gone years ago.
So what led you to that? What was the charge, or what happened? What was life like that led up into culminating to like this whole big deal?
There was a lot of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. Okay.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them. I had trafficking charges, selling guns, drug charges, selling drugs, B&E charges, breaking and entering, robbery charges.
Mm-hmm.
And I was young.
There's a lot of influences.
The influence, I'll take exception from my half because even though it was an influence, I made a choice.
Absolutely. Sure.
And when people, I understand you have the influence, but you still have the choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know right from wrong, you know what choice to make. You just choose to make the wrong choice. And the choices I made then, I think to myself now, and I'm like, dude, you were retarded. Like, what was wrong with you?
What are you thinking?
Like, how now? If I accidentally walk out of the store with a piece, I'm like, oh, whoa, I'm sorry. Here, like, like here you go, my bad. But I think like, dude, you were brave. Like, I was brave then, and I didn't understand how stupid I was.
It's just interesting because I think there's definitely accountability. We definitely make choices.
Mm-hmm.
It's good spot to throw in, Adam, this statement that I hate. What is it? It is
what it is,
Yeah,
and that's
it is
the
what
end
it
of that
is.
statement.
No, that is not the end of that statement, Zay. Because
It's his pet peeve.
It drives me
what it
nuts
is.
because it really takes that agency away. It takes the empowerment away. It's a passive statement. There's not a lot of passivity in positive mental health. And so I've added this statement, so you do what you can do.
It is what you make it.
It is what you make it. I like that even better. What are you talking about?
I added that.
All right, well, Neil added it. What are you talking about?
I did that.
Okay, well, he did it. We have to talk after the show.
You
man.
know, you know what I need to do? I need to get him to give me a tattoo that says "It is what it is."
No, there's no period after that, Zay. You can't do that. You got to have a comma. Yeah, give him a ... if you're going to do that.
So I'll do "It is what it is" on him, and I'll do "It is what it is" ... on you. That'll be your matching tattoos. There you go.
I like that.
There
What do you think,
go.
Neil?
So first of all, tattoos terrify me. I don't need
There
no
you
needle
go.
going in and out of me that many times. Secondly, I don't like the idea. And
Just a couple
thirdly,
letters,
if
just
I
quick.
get a tattoo,
I
it's gonna
love
be a
that
piranha.
idea.
Dude,
You see
listen.
me and Neil's reaction? We're like, oh.
Yeah, he's got his
Sit
two of
down
them
there,
up, man.
you'll be done in 10 minutes.
Zay, I'm going to hear from this for like the next
10 minutes,
5
you'll be
years,
done.
man. I don't
I
like
can't.
this conversation anymore.
I can't. Well, you're going to be picked on about this for months.
Yes. Yeah.
Until you have it done.
Seriously though, it is what it is. So you do what you can do, and you have decisions. But it's interesting too the way that things really do affect us. Like one of the things that drives me nuts about doing what I do for a living, which is mental health and substance abuse counseling, is when people have these mental health things that are really holding them in a stuck spot. They're really being held down. They're really being overwhelmed by the things that are around us, and when we don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the key. When you don't even know that you're in a spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you know there's more out there now. I don't know what taught you that, obviously, on the road and the music industry, but
Yeah,
that's a part of overcoming,
it definitely is.
right? So I definitely wanted to check with you about Bob Marley. I think I dug into you a little bit. I was a little
my
weird
guy.
stalker on Facebook and whatever.
That's my guy.
You like Bob
That's
Marley,
my guy.
man.
Yeah.
Did you see his movie One Love?
I did. I went to the theater the night it came out.
That was a
Oh, yes.
Okay.
beast movie.
I don't feel like it was
you
long
saw it?
enough.
Yes,
I feel like it was too short.
very much so. I couldn't
Yeah, I
agree
feel
more.
like it was like soon as it got good, it was over, and I was like,
Exactly, I couldn't
What?
agree more. There's
Just-
so much to his life.
Did he have any tattoos?
I don't think he did.
Oh man, come on! You should have said yes. He didn't think he did.
I don't
I
think
was
he
trying to mess
did.
with Chris. Okay.
Adam, weird people get tattoos. I mean, I can't say that because Zay's here, but I'm concerned about your tattoo. He's in a runaway train now. He got one, now he's got 4. Man, what's going on?
Hey, that's how it happens.
That's it's how that's maybe one of the reasons why I'm scared.
I started
to
with
do
one, and
it.
Keep in mind, Chris, you're in the smaller group here
very much
in this
so.
room.
I
There's
feel
4
like
people in this room, and
everybody's-
you're the only one that doesn't have one.
Everybody's teaming up on me here, man. That's not right.
dot,
But,
dot.
Dot.
There you go.
That might have to happen. Anyway, One Love, Bob Marley was beast because of the. I didn't know a lot about his story. I really didn't, and that's why I was interested in watching his story and his music. Oh my gosh,
I love it.
has a whole nother meaning to me now in what he lived through, the Civil War that was down in Jamaica. He had to leave because he was shot, and he went and kind of made his name, and he came back, and what he meant to Jamaica, and what you have to have a cause in life. You have to have a
Yep.
purpose. That helps you to develop resiliency, because if you have a purpose, man, you are going for it. So in much of the same way, I guess if you can imagine, if you can dream up, like how would you like to make an impact, or what draws you to Bob Marley in the way that you know his story?
Just the way he was, spreading love and positive. And I heard him say something in like an interview years ago, and somebody asked him what would he do with the money, or what would he do with his money once he gets this big deal when he was coming to America or something like that. And he was like, I'm rich. He was like, I have something money can't buy. He was like, I got love from people.
Right.
And you think about it, and like that one statement was just like, you know what? That's more than money. It's, if you have the respect and love from people, money can never, you know what I mean? You can do whatever.
I like Through a Therapist's Eyes. I think it's a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
Part of what I like to do with mental health is just give a little bit of vision of how we see the world, like through our eyes and whatnot. So follow me for just a second. In AA, there's different kinds of meetings, people getting sober, and they go to a speaker meeting, and that's a speaker telling their life story and engaging, the audience as a part of their recovery and whatnot. But the audience is listening, and they're receiving, and they're joining, and like, wow, I'm not alone. I mean, there's a lot going on in what we call a speaker meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So correlate that to standing on stage. here you are, literally. Like, not a lot of people have had that experience, right? Comedians have. I played in the band, you know. I mean, people have done some stuff, but you're like a artist, spotlight's on you, standing on a stage. You're kind of giving a speaker meeting almost. Because your songs talk about you, whether people know it or not. Who benefits the most, receiving the audience energy or providing an artistic display of wonder to the world? Crazy question, right? Make you think today.
I think it's receiving the crowd's energy.
Isn't that crazy?
Because if the
Good crowd, bad crowd.
well, you got good crowd, bad crowd. But if it's a crowd that knows your music, they're already there to support you. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't have to. I watch some artists. You know, you see some artists go on tour. They might say 3 words through a song. The crowd puts on the show. Have you ever noticed that?
That's not really, but
You mean like
I
letting
can
the
follow.
crowd sing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But even if you look at some big artist shows, they're singing, but you literally can't hear them over the crowd.
They're overrun, yeah.
So it's like once you get to that point where you have that much love, they make it easy.
Yeah.
Because they're there with you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think what I'm saying is it's a powerful experience for a speaker who's delivering in a speaker meeting. It's got to be a powerful experience when you're essentially like leading. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think it's
his
weird
eyes just lit up
because I've had people tell me like, "Dude, your music hits me so hard," and I'm like,
yeah,
you might. And when I hear people say that, I'm like, yeah, he's been through something in his life.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like that's the first thing
Absolutely.
pops in my head is like, if you could relate to my music, you understand pain.
Well, in a way, you're kind of giving almost kind of like a therapy session to a large group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Say more about that, though. How your songs, interestingly, seem uplifting in a lot of ways, but there's pain in that, which is kind of what made me think, like, how do we want to weave mental health into this interview, which is what I'm always angling for, because that's my passion and whatnot. That sounds like resiliency,
Oh yeah,
right?
can be.
Well, in a
Yeah.
big way. I mean, you know, a life of pain and the process. And say more about that if you could.
It's so when you say it's like therapy, I would say music is my therapy
Right.
because I've sat down with therapists when I was incarcerated and stuff like that. You got to go through evaluations and all of that, but I think for the easiest way for a person to find out about me is listening to my music. You'll learn more from me about my music than talking to me. That's like my vulnerable state.
That's really cool. It's definitely an expression.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely an expression.
So, what drove you to turn things around?
I don't know. It just and back to like.
Well,
how
there
you
was an
said
event
with-
you mentioned last night. I don't know if that factors in.
Which one?
Remember in California?
Well, yeah.
You had said that was.
Oh, turning. I thought you were thinking about music. Yeah, life turning around.
Yeah, like
music
just
turning around.
stuff.
yeah.
The resiliency. How you? What made you drive to like turn things around and be a better person?
Near death.
Okay.
A near death experience. No, I was on a race ride in Victorville, California, and literally had nothing to do with me. I got stabbed 6 times in the chest. I was in a coma 18 days, and when I came to.
And when was this time frame?
2010.
Oh wow, 10 years before 2020.
Yep, 2010.
Well, dang. Okay.
So that's where the rasp come from. I never had like a raspy voice before I went to prison.
Oh,
Never had a raspy
my
voice.
goodness. Are you serious?
Yep. Never had a raspy voice.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the cause too.
Absolutely.
That's
That's why I
Wild.
look at it. I was like, prison's like a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
That's
To me,
wild.
you know.
That is truly crazy.
Yep.
You're on a mission, brother. You
Yeah.
are going. This is happening. That's too much coincidence, too much happening, too much to do it good in the
Victorville,
world.
California is on that list with West Virginia too, just to let you know, so you don't feel alone.
Okay, good.
Along with Mississippi and Beaumont, Texas, and all of that.
Wow.
It's a couple places, no shows.
Are we going
will be
Nevada? What are we missing?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a healing visit, man, because honestly, it turned things around. It gave you your voice. These things are all together, and now you're overcoming it and using these things.
Yeah.
Maybe we can redefine some of those places in this conversation and head to all of them.
I always said, though, I said if I ever got big to where I could just really get a voice to do things, I would love to go back through the federal prison system and just give like a speech and perform.
Dude, we need to make that happen.
That'd be
Like,
awesome.
I would love, you know what I mean? I would really love, even juvenile systems or anything like that. I would love to.
Hell
I would
to
love
the
to do
yes.
You want to start in West Virginia? I got hookups there.
I will.
Let's do this. Seriously, I
will.
mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, look, people. I love people's stories that, like, you say near.
There's gonna be some dude get up. Hey, he owes me for a bag of chips.
I knew you'd be back.
I got you that and some. Yeah, you can tell him, man. Boy, there's a lot of bartering goes in prisons, and I don't think it's just about chips neither. But I'm just gonna stop there.
Yeah, they're gonna play.
Maybe other bags involved.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I lost my train of thought, but I'll move on to another one because I picked up on the idea. You know, if you're listening so far, you know, there's a lot of things that you listening have gone through, and again, you know, how did something in life hold you down? What did you do daily to overcome this distress? And you know, did you experience resiliency helping you to overcome something? I think I heard you say somewhere, maybe it was an interview when I was doing my digging and whatever, you don't like the word can't.
No.
I hate that word too.
Mm-mm.
Why?
Because I feel like I can do anything. It might be things I don't want to do, but I feel like I can do anything if I put my mind to it. Whether it's something I have to do or something I want to do or don't really want to do. Like, I don't want to work on a car. But if
Fair enough.
if I had to, you know,
Yeah.
I'm sure I can go out there and do it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in can't. Because I don't know, I guess I've heard it so much.
When did you lose, if you will, quote unquote, when did you lose the use of the word can't?
In prison.
In prison. Boy, that was quick
It's
too.
a turning point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the COs and guards tell you can't do so much.
Great.
You can't do this, you can't do that, unless they want you to do it. So it was like, dude, one day you're not going to be able to tell me what the hell to do. You're not going to be able to control me. You're not going to be able to keep me in this room. You're not going to be able to let me go to the bathroom when you want to, like, no more can'ts. So it was like, when I get out, it's what I want. It's what I say. It's what I do. I'm going to do it my way.
Man, I love this.
Was there any particular prison that was more of a turning for you?
McDowell. Just saying.
Man, that's my boy. But I'm seeing this in a different space, man. So that's the one that you go to first.
McDowell and
Right?
I would say McDowell and probably Beaumont, Texas. I started off in Beaumont.
I guess we gotta go to the why, or why you say that.
Yeah. Beaumont was rough. I mean, you got to think I was 19
Yeah.
when I hit my first. They called me high school
Oh,
when I
wow.
first got to prison,
Yeah.
and I played sports. But you know, like anybody that's ever been in the prison system knows Beaumont, Texas, is not the place for a 19-year-old kid whatsoever.
Pretty
I don't
rough.
care. I don't care where you're from.
Mm.
Like, it's just not. It's just not.
It's a scary reality. I mean, I went to Moundsville in West Virginia. It was an old, state penitentiary. And, I mean, we were just taking tours, an old rundown thing or whatever. I have a few jail stories. One of them was like, never prepared for this in school. What the hell do I do with this suicide assessment in a jail? I'm like a
Yeah.
19-year-old kid myself. Like, what the hell? I don't know what to do in here.
No.
But when I was an adult and went to do the tour, where they close you in the cell, there ain't nothing like that sound.
That sound, but that sound is the worst thing ever.
That's got to be torturous.
But to
Yeah.
hear the doors pop is a good sound.
Okay. Well,
The shutting sound is bad. When they pop open, it's a good sound.
I can appreciate that because I was looking at a roach in the toilet at the time, and I was like, "This is kind of weird." And they popped it about 2 minutes
dude,
later,
them-
so I
them
was like,
become
"That's good."
You get pets. You get little pets. They become pets.
Oh, brother,
You name them and everything.
Well, we got some stew with that too.
No stew.
No stew.
I can't kill your pets. You ain't got nobody to talk to in there. What you mean?
Wow. How about we move on to a vision board? So really, you're listening and you're hearing some things that Zay did in his life, and I'm kind of feeling like, how do you develop resiliency? How do you overcome? I would submit to you one of the powerful things that you can do for yourself when you want to overcome something or create something is to create a vision.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear of a vision board, Adam?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You ever hear of a vision board?
Yep.
Have you done one?
I had one.
All right. What is on it?
Well, I don't have it now.
You don't have it on. Okay.
I actually had one when I was incarcerated.
Break us down. What is a vision board?
So my vision board was different places. So I would always have like different females I talked to. I would like, hey, get the mailing stamps and send me different stamps from different states. And I would always try to collect the different states, and I would stick them up on the board and say, okay, I'm going to Idaho, I'm going to Wisconsin, or going here or going there, or it could just be a picture out of a magazine. I used to take clothes. I would see like a lot of denim clothes, and I'm like, oh, cut them out. Stick
So
them
he's
here.
focusing on what he can't do,
Mm-hmm.
and then he decided he can.
No.
Turn it into the can't,
There you go.
or turn the can't into the actual can. I like that.
No.
Is it your first tour? Was it in order? Did you?
Nah, when I left Gastonia, I literally didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
I left Gastonia and went to Massachusetts. I went to Massachusetts to do an open mic.
Interesting.
Literally I will look up different places to do open mics and just go there.
That's where you started building
Mm-hmm.
in 2010.
2020.
That was 2020.
Yeah, I was out. I couldn't travel while I was incarcerated. They wouldn't let me
Oh,
travel that much.
that would be probably against those rules.
They wouldn't let.
I guess I wasn't sure when you got out of prison.
Yeah, they
so
wouldn't let me travel and come back. They
Dang them.
they were kind of against that.
Stupid people, anyway. Well, like I say, when you have a purpose, when you have a vision, when you have something that really drives you, mine is mental health, and it's empowering because you almost feel like I'm on a mission. What is it? The movie back the black glasses and
Men in
the
Black?
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
I'm on a mission from God,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're running through the country and doing all the things that they do. But I mean, obviously, I don't know if they really felt that in the movie, but you feel that.
Yep.
It's almost like you can't not succeed,
Mhm.
right? You can't not do what your vision wants you to do,
Got to do it.
right? So I wonder if we create a vision for prisons. You just let that bake in your head because I want to be a part of that, man. Influential people in our life. This is another major area of resiliency or a drain to resiliency. Kind of back to that culture thing. You got to look. Dr. Phil actually did something cool years ago. He had an activity, 5 most influential events in your life, 5 most influential people in your life. And there was a third part, but I forget. But you look at those pieces, and it pulls together, like even just those 2 that I remember, events and persons.
Mm-hmm.
That can be detrimental, but it can be also very, very helpful. Now, what am I missing?
Nothing. I'm laughing because you said Dr. Phil, and I'm literally looking at you like, imagine you with a bald head. And I'm like, he would probably look like Dr. Phil if he had a bald head.
Oh, dear God.
Is it the mustache?
Yeah, I'm like, he
Okay.
would probably look like Dr. Phil if he had a bald head.
I need to lose some weight. We got to
On the Halloween episode, we know what Chris's costume is.
We got to do something about this.
we gotta
thing.
do it. Gotta do it.
Tell me about your grandfather. Is this one of the most influential
Yeah.
people? And mom, being single mom, I know I grew up single mom too. She's my hero. I love my mother for that dearly. I could go into that for an hour. At
I
how
love my
feel about
mom
that.
for making me tough. My grandpa was like, and I didn't really appreciate him until he passed away.
Yeah.
And it's like I appreciated all the ass whoopings, the making me trim the hedges with like head shears, like hand shears. It's like, dude, you got all some automatic stuff over there. Gas. Like, why am I out here doing this with my hands? Like, but it's like I appreciated it once I was older, and I didn't then.
Yeah.
I was hell. I was young, but no matter what I done, I never done nothing wrong in his eyes.
Hmm.
A man come pick me up from jail, boot camp, juvenile. Like,
He was always there.
it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm. He accepted.
Never heard him cuss a day in his life.
All right. And he
Just
accepted you
calm
for where
man.
you're at and what you are. And
Yep,
unconditional love, sounds like.
definitely.
That's a powerful elixir for overcoming stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, it really makes me sad. One of the things that's tough to deal with in therapy, I feel like, is folks that one have experienced neglect, not abuse, not sexual abuse, all this like neglect is brutal because it's so powerful for a baby that's born into a world of neglect. They simply just die. It's sudden infant death syndrome. And different reasons for the sudden infant death syndrome, but that's part of the outcomes. And secondly, or right along with that, is a critical person in your life. I've come to believe that critical people in our lives just destroy our soul, right? So when you have figures in your life that are supportive, you can really use that as a springboard. So how does that play in your mind now with these two figures, with positive moments and things that have happened? And I'm sure you wish you was in Gastonia at the Rooster Saturday night, August the 31st,
Definitely.
here in 2 days.
No, I feel like him and my brother both played. My brother played a big part of me getting into music. But I'm a big spiritual person, and I tell people, like, I always see two eagles.
Eagles?
Eagles.
Oh.
Anytime I drive, it's like, I don't know what it is. I always can look up, and it's two eagles, always.
Oh man.
And I always, if you like ever look at my Instagram, you're like, why is he always taking pictures? And I tell people they're always there. I can literally look up, take a picture, it'd be two eagles just circling around
Where's the eagle tattoo?
on my head.
I figured he had one. That's why
You knew it was there somewhere,
I knew he
right?
had it, yeah.
My
On
head.
your head?
Mm-hmm.
Where at?
My whole head's covered in tattoos.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yep. Right on my head. But
Starting to make me think of Assassin's Creed, Adam.
I get that a lot.
Yeah,
I get that a lot. They're like, are you? I had a kid ask me. I done a show last Halloween, and dude was like 8 years old. Man, this little kid, red hair, like down to his shoulders, and I'm in a bar, and these people call me up to the front. Not to get off topic, but he just reminded me.
Go anywhere
Go
you
with
need.
it, man. Go with it.
So they called me up there, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's wanting to get in, this and that," and I'm like, I'm not from here. I don't know nobody. So I go up to the front, and this guy's got his little kid out there and his wife. He's like, man, look, my kid wanted to come hear you for Halloween. I was like, are you like, he's a kid? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, dude, he loves Southern Charm. He was dressed up as Spider-Man and everything.
Oh,
And
man.
I was like, dude, can he come in? Like, I was like, he's performing. I took him on stage with me and performed with him and everything. It was crazy.
That is so fun.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's an impact.
Yeah. I forgot what you asked me. I got sidetracked.
Doesn't
but
matter. We're
sorry.
going with this because this is another way of building resiliency, to be honest with you, man. How about overcoming stuff? Beating the hell out of the negative things in your life and springboarding with the help and encouragement and love from others to make an impact. I mean, if you're realizing
It's still a struggle.
What's that?
It's still a struggle.
What do you mean?
Just to be the better person every day,
Yeah.
it's still a struggle.
Oh. Well, now we got 2 points to go along with this. Absolutely. Like, look, you might be sitting here listening to our show talking about, okay, resiliency. Yeah, I've had things that hurt me. Yeah, I've had things that have held me down. Okay, I've had a little bit of moments of resiliency, whatever. But, okay, I can not use the word can or not use the word can't. I'll use the word can, and I'll do what I could do. All these different things we're talking about. But, dadgum, man, I can't feel good about this one. I can't make an influence like Zay can.
No.
What can I do that a famous singer up in front of thousands and millions of people all around the world, I can't do that. So that one's not for me.
And a lot of people don't.
Now, I don't buy that, obviously, but
I think as
Go
an
ahead.
artist, a lot of people always expect us just to be happy and never have any dull moments or never have a moment where it's like, dude, I just want to be by myself.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I mean, you do a lot.
Well, the 2 points here are you can absolutely, you, the listener to this show, you can absolutely make an impact on people's lives. Like your next door neighbor
Definitely.
needs you.
Yep.
Your friends are, you are a powerful person. Use that power for good. And secondly, you aren't going to feel great all the time. The reality of it is an absolute, I couldn't agree with you more, Zay, a daily struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I deal with stuff all day long. You think therapists are straight in our head? No. No. Do not put people you look to up on a pedestal. Realize they are in the grind of life just like you are, and we're all in this together.
And human beings also.
One of the reasons why I love the opening line that I do with this show, it's I want to market it and probably should patent it because, you know, the human emotional experience, we figure this out together. You ain't figuring this stuff out alone very well.
Yeah.
Is what I believe. Speak through your why and speak through your passion is a thought that comes along with, you know, overcoming resiliency. And we talked about how you speak through your songs. Can you give another example or two outside of Southern? You sang something else besides Southern Comfort.
Yeah,
right?
what's the one you sung? You said your favorite
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
What's your
what is
favorite
that?
song? You mentioned
One
that.
of my favorite songs.
You said that wasn't your favorite song. So which one is your favorite song? Or one of your favorite songs? They're all so great, right? Just
I would say Gypsy on the Run.
Gypsy
That's
on a
probably-
Run.
And why, of course.
I'll have to listen to that on the way home.
I've heard it.
It's just, you heard it?
I have. I
Okay.
told you it was background music when I was
Okay.
preparing all this stuff.
Gypsy on the Run, I wrote it literally sitting at a rest stop. And it was just
How long ago? How many years ago? Recently? A couple years ago?
maybe 3-4 years
Three,
ago.
4 years ago?
Maybe 3 years ago.
It wasn't before 2020.
No, I was
we
gonna say, yeah,
established.
maybe 3 years ago. But I was at one of those points where I was just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, you got a second chance at life. You're out here running around, living in a van, bouncing state to state like you're 16, 17 years old. And it was one of those things that's like, and I heard Jelly Roll say this, so this is one of my catches. It's like,
You stealing it from him, or is he stealing it from you?
I'm borrowing it.
You borrowing
I'm borrowing
it.
it.
All right.
It's like,
I know who Jelly Roll is. Are you proud
Borrow
of me?
proudly.
Are you
Yes.
proud of me, Adam?
Yes.
I know.
very
I know
proud of
this man.
I had somebody tell me earlier they didn't know who Jelly Roll was, and I just looked at him like,
I'm glad I didn't get that look.
I was just like, what?
I did. Well, yeah, that's
That
true.
might have been me yesterday. He looked at it like that. I don't know. It might have been.
All right, we're taking him away from his thing. So Jelly Roll
Oh,
says,
it's like, am I chasing my dreams, or pretty much am I running away from being an adult?
"Oh, am I chasing my dreams, or am I running away from being
Interesting song title
Yeah.
for that.
You know, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that every day. My engineer tells me, I actually got it on video on my phone. I watched it. He's like, how many times have you watched Jelly Roll today? Like, because he knows, I guess, by my text if I'm in a good mood or bad mood. And he's like, how many times have you watched it today? And he's like, dude, you're doing good. And it's like, it's easy for people to say when you're not physically there, like on the road, traveling and making sure the car is good, making sure you got gas to get here, making sure you can do this.
There's always
making sure you
something.
can do, yes.
Always something.
Always something.
Stress is real.
Power's out.
Yeah. Power's out.
Oh yeah. For instance, Adam today wondering if he's going home to a hot house in the
Yep.
south with the humidity at what is it today? 150 degrees. It's like brutal.
Somewhere close to there.
There's always something. And I tell you, we really, this is such an important topic, and I appreciate you playing along and helping us out to figure it out, because resiliency is something that you will come need every day, because there's always going to be something that wants to pound you down. And unfortunately, the regular Jane and Joes out there, we really struggle with that and get stuck in that, and it owns us.
I get it a lot. And it's, I would say another way from doing it is weird, but, being in the South, performing at bars and stuff, you get your drunk crowds hollering stuff out. And I think a lot, it's like, you know what? I let 3 seconds of anger or 3 seconds of stupidity send me over here for this long. And it's like, do I really want to jump off the stage and kick that dude? It's like, do I really want to kick him in the stomach for what he just said, or do I just let it go or keep going? But it's things like that that just keep me grounded, because it's like, it's really, whatever.
You do strike me as having a lot of humility. Do you think humility helps us to overcome things?
I think so.
Because I do too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, one of the populations of people that I work with that I love the most is just so powerful with people that are in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, matter of fact, there was a local radio guy around here. Kind of forget his name too. You see a theme, don't you, Adam?
Mhm.
Anyway, he was a local radio guy years ago, and he would always say in his little morning show entry, proof that you can't come home from the living dead. I'm like, okay, never really paid attention to that, but I happened to catch a show one day where every year he will bring out the progress notes and the discharge summary is what we call it actually from the rehab that he went to. You see, and so he celebrates on air every year annually this idea that we can come back from the living dead because people that are in recovery, the humility that they have, dude,
Yeah.
powerful. Like they've been to hell, lived there, and come back and are sober and alive now. You will not meet a friendlier, more genuine, and that humility group of people that have overcome amazing things.
So they've been to McDowell too.
they may have been down in McDowell also.
They've been to McDowell also.
He may have a song that's kind of along the same lines.
Well, they say addiction ends in jails, institutions, or death. So, and that is anecdotally what I have.
They said it ends there?
Absolutely. Addiction ends in jails, institutions, or death. It progresses and gets worse until one of those.
I think it gets worse in the institution.
Well, for some, for some, it's
yeah.
death. I mean, you go to the jail, it didn't end there. You go to the institution, it didn't end there. And I mean, people will die from addiction if it is left unfettered. That's just 100%. Mm-hmm. But the point is, like, when you go through stuff like that and you have that humility changes you and makes you. This is nothing but a chicken wing. I mean, you can't be got by the moment quite as much.
That's how I look at things. I'm like, you know what? 14 years and 10 months. I'm like.
I can do that.
Like, yeah, anything else is just like, I compare this like, oh, I got this.
And again, you might be listening saying, well, I ain't been in prison for 14 years. I don't know what the heck that is all about. Listen, you have been through something, you listening to the show, that has absolutely stabbed you in the soul. We've all had that pain point. And you can allow that pain point to stay present, untouched, unmanaged, unaddressed, which a lot of people live a lifetime doing.
I do.
Or you can take that pain point and turn it around into your life and make that your passion, make that your can, make that your positive, make that your drive, make that your vision.
Nope.
I pull that on again. Stuff just happens to me sometimes. But seriously, like it's powerful. It's absolutely powerful. All right, another real quick thing. We got to taxi in here a little bit. So, but persistence is a big piece too in resiliency. I have a belief that you're probably pretty daggum near super persistent when you have a goal. Is that a fair statement?
I try to be. I have my days. Like some days I can sit there and I'm like, all right, I'm doing this, and I'll get it done. And then some days I get in my head and it's like, dude, what are you doing? And I sit there for 8 hours out the day just moping, and it's like, okay, get up and do something. But, yeah.
Insecurities are very real. Fear is very real. Sadness is very real. Grief, loss. You can get into all of it, and you can stay stuck. But again, if you want to develop persistence or develop resiliency, what does that go? I don't know this guy, but this is a quote that drove it out. Co-founder and CEO of Connect Hub. I don't know who that is. But he cites that research has shown that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them than those that don't. And I think I've heard things like that before, and I think it's absolutely true. I also believe in therapy. You a 1, 5, and 10-year plan and do an activity with that. So I'm curious if you wrote the goals down, if you got this kind of
I didn't never
the vision
write 'em
board
down.
you have.
No, I think I just thought of them so much they're like etched in my brain.
I'm that way too. to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're like etched in my brain. I mean, I wrote them down at some point in time, and I wrote them down over and over and over again. But I think they're just like stuck in my brain.
I get.
Yeah.
I'm pretty verbal that way myself too. I mean, I do it write out the 1, 5, and 10-year plan, but yeah.
You sound focused, man. Good.
I am.
Absolutely.
Tell everybody, this is like, I don't have a plan. Like, and it sounds bad not to have a plan B, but I know this is gonna work. So I got to make it do what it's going to do. Then
That's interesting. Do you need a plan B if you're really personally driven for plan A? I mean, you can always flexibly adjust or change course or take in new information and do all that, but
the adult says, yes, you should have a plan
the
B.
adult does say that, doesn't
But
it?
the gypsy in me is like, you know what, dude, you live once. Go with it.
Well, it's like that Batman
dig the
episode.
gypsy. I dig the gypsy.
The gypsy's like, man, do it.
It's like that Batman Pit episode where he kept on trying to jump across. He couldn't until he took the rope off. No plan B.
No plan B.
See, there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
For real. I think, there's something about just throwing into what you want to make happen and make it happen. I have a very much of an entrepreneurial mind, as I'm sure you do in the music industry. And there's so many thoughts, so many businesses, so many companies, so many events, so many beautiful things that could have been in the world that never even got started because people can't take the first step.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Which is another thing about creating resiliency. Take a step. Like, do something.
Dude, when I left Gastonia, my family thought I was on drugs. They thought I was crazy. They were like, this dude just got out. I just got a place, you know what I mean? Got my place furnished, everything, and I made my mind up and sold everything. They were like, why am I seeing your bed on Facebook Marketplace and your couch and this and that? And it's like, I'm leaving.
You know where you just took me? You took me to a therapy session about 2-3 days ago. You did. Because the things I talk about on this show and the things that we deal with, like, they're real. Like, I deal with them all day long. And they're genuine. That's just, that's what a lot of our topics are about. This dude, like, just up and took a vacation trip, wanted to be in Montana. He come back here. He told me that he found a place he's about ready to buy. He got a job. His start date is October 1st. And he's going to freaking Montana. I was like, what the heck? What?
You got to do it.
He's just rolling, man. And it's just, it's vibing for him. He's feeling it. And you know what? There's a lot of negative naysayers. He said he really appreciated my excitement for him and my pride for him. Because he's like, man, I got nothing but naysayers. People are just telling me you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do it. You're not going to have it. It's not going to work.
I got it. So bad. So bad.
Make it happen.
I was like, dude, I'm going. I was like, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to do music. I'm going to chase my music dream. They're like, really?
Right.
Like, dude, you're from Gastonia. come on back and just
come down to earth.
They're like, come on. I know you've been gone for a while. You want to go explore, but come on. Go to Myrtle Beach and come back.
Wow.
But
We'll
basically,
keep you
that's
here.
like, that's basically like what I heard. They're like, dude, take you a vacation and come back. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to.
Where'd you go?
Get it? They're not getting it.
When I left?
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make it happen. I mean, take a step. It's any step. Take a do statement. There is no can't. There's can. Yeah. There's a lot of things with this, I think, and I just really appreciate you hanging out with us and talking to us and catching a glimpse of behind your eyes, what it is that you see. Adam, you got thoughts or closing things?
No, I know we got to kind of cut it a little short.
Yeah, we need to roll because
he's got another show.
We plugged the wrong show. Where are you going to now?
Voltage in Charlotte.
Voltage.
Yep.
In Charlotte. In a half
Club
an hour.
Voltage.
Get your tail ends out of your seat. Get your tail ends to your car.
Yep.
Probably don't cost that much daggone money, but you have an awesome show at Voltage tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina. But we're going to see you Saturday at the Rooster. And
so you're saying you're going to be there on there, so just letting you know.
Brother, I had a conversation with
know.
him last night. See, we had a conversation about this. My kid's giving me grief. It's going to be a pull, man.
You'll see me, man. I'll be there.
Oh,
thank you.
I got a Penn State WVU football game to go to, and I'm
telling you,
I'm gonna be rolling down I-85 at like 120 miles an hour to get back home.
No, don't do 120. Don't do 120.
I think it'll happen.
Not in West Virginia.
I'm in control.
You'll
My
be
son's
stuck
not.
to Monday.
That's true. Yeah, they are. Yeah, well, there's that. So, what do you want to sum us up for? What would you like to say, or anything kind of coming to your mind? I just really appreciate the conversation. It's a great topic. You're a great example, and I think we can all learn from it.
Anything you want to say about yourself, or
go check my music out. Hopefully, somebody will love it. Somebody will like it. Somebody will share it.
ZayGrastleyMusic.com. ZayGrastley music.com. Gypsy Outlaw Music.
Yep.
All right.
I had somebody tell me the other day I was like the 2024 Will Smith. And that was like the craziest thing comparison I've ever heard. And they was like, "'Cause you don't cuss in your music," and I was like, I never thought of that.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah, not anymore.
maybe that'll have change.
Not anymore.
Well, I gotta say, I don't know. You're certainly a big old beefed up version of Will, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Gotta
Will Smith ain't from the country. He ain't had
Country
enough
work will
liver
do
much.
that. I appreciate that as a hillbilly mountaineer. Good deal. Well, we get you off to your show. I appreciate you hanging out with us.
Definitely. Thank y'all for having me.
Don't be a stranger, man.
Definitely
We really, I would love to team up with you somehow, maybe, and do this prison tour thing. To be
Let's
honest
do
with you,
it.
I think that
Let's
would be
do it.
absolute beast. I would love that.
We can start right here. Let's do it.
I love it. I love it. All right, go check them out at the Rooster in a couple of days, Gastonia, North Carolina. Appreciate you hanging with us. Hopefully, we've helped you give a good example because you too can live this out. This isn't somebody else's story. This is our story as we figure this out together. So stay well. We'll see you next week. Take care.